We are here at Maker Faire Orlando. We have some awesome stuff coming up for you guys today, so stay tuned. We got one day here in Orlando. We got the POV cam, we got my friends Jazz and Joe, a spare microphone, and that means we're gonna have a lot of fun. Let's go meet some makers. Let's go touch base with some companies that we always like to see. And there might be some fighting robots behind me, and I can hear some Tesla coils, so let's get into it. We are here at Digital Fibers, and this is objectively really cool. I am joined by Rodney and Rodney. We're taking a look at LEDs in fabric, but we were just kind of talking because Miss Amber, the camera lady, really likes to do sewing and embroidery projects. And normally doing embroidery with LEDs and putting LEDs into fabric, it's a real problem because, well, the thread is resistive. So the LEDs are not the same brightness all the way down. So talk to us about what Digital Fiber is, Rodney, and tell us how you do all this.
Digital Fiber is a company that specializes in electronic textiles, up to and including technical embroidery, which in this case would be embroidering LEDs directly into fabric. So I have an example here. This is a more complicated example of LEDs that are Bluetooth connected. These are all addressable, full color display. You can connect your phone and play games. And then you have simpler, which is just a matrix array.
So freaking cool, and it's all running on a battery, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
The way you would power these is just this little
No, you don't, and
back.
it goes through the freaking snaps too.
And it just snaps on.
This guy, this is Maker right here, 100%. And you've got some clothing here that you're selling, but what really drew my eye was that you're showing the whole process. Like some makers only kind of show you, here's the done thing, figure it out, buy it if you want, look at it, but you're like, no, let me show you how to do it. And even all the way to actually dealing with all the integrated circuitry as well. You're wiring into the vias themselves, which is, that's super darn cool.
Absolutely. So this has textile vias, which are a bit different than normal vias. And for those who don't know what vias are, it's a way to allow two electrical pathways to cross each other without touching each other. Also, as he mentioned, this is an exposed project here meant to show you the ins and out of how it works. As he mentioned earlier, the problem with e-textiles is that the resistance is usually pretty high and it's hard to get the LEDs to blink at the same intensity. So with this display here, the lengths of all the traces to each LED have been matched so that their intensities match. And what this allows me to do is to get rid of the resistor on each individual LED.
Normally the LEDs need some sort of a resistor to bring the voltage down to the right level. Instead, what Rodney's done here is he's used the fact that the actual thread itself has a resistance value and made it the right length so the thread is the resistor, reducing cost and, quite frankly, making it so much easier to produce the product, which, I mean, that's a win right there. That's literally saving cost, saving time, and being able to make cool stuff that also looks really cool. I love the equal trace stuff. It always looks awesome. Rodney, where can people find what you do if they want to purchase something?
We have a website, digitalfiber.us.
Okay.
And we offer custom LED embroidery. I believe we're the only company right now accessible that offers that. So it's perfect for holiday season.
Sounds like we got to get a 3D Musketeers logo done with LEDs. Let me know what you guys think down in those comments below. And if you had the ability to do this kind of thing, or maybe you did want to work with Digital Fiber, what would you make with LED embroidery? Let us know down there. Stay tuned, more coverage coming at you. we are over at the RevoPoint booth. You know there were 3D scanners, so I kind of had to come over and say, hey, because I missed them at 3D Printopia, but we have Miraco here. But before we get into this, that's pretty cool. We got some other scanners here hanging out. We have the RevoPoint range, which you guys saw recently in a live stream. We'll card to it so you guys can take a look. But I'm joined by Kyle.
How you doing?
And you're here representing RevoPoint, huh?
Yes, I am. I'm their power user, if you will.
Power user, okay.
So
all right.
I'm here just helping out, showing off. This is actually a couple of my personal scanners. The range, the Inspire. My Pop 3 is over there.
Okay, so these are the ones I should break then.
No, yeah, if you want.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine. As well as, you know, my personal things that I have scanned and or designed and printed off of. So
the Inspire is one of the latest scanners to come out of RevoPoint. Can we talk about this one real quick?
we sure could. The Inspire is like that introductory, like, get you through the door, learn how to use a 3D scanner, because the reality is, even though they're getting more user-friendly, they're not per se user-friendly.
No,
they take a little bit of skill, they take a little bit of learning. Even the expensive ones, you know, take a little bit of getting used to. But this is a great way for like $350 or so to get in the door and get something that's 0.2 millimeter resolution, good enough, you know, good quality for what you're doing. Yes, up to 0.2 millimeter resolution.
Sorry. Every company will give you the best numbers that their scanners can do. Assume the best you are going to get is double that.
Yeah.
And like that even goes for my $20,000+ Artec scanners. It's the same for all of them.
Yeah.
Assume that if it's 200 microns, you're gonna get 400. Just assume that. Honestly, $500,000 or better on $350 or so.
Well, and that's the thing
That's
is
not bad.
you can fit this in your pocket. You could pick it up and put it connect it to your phone.
Yeah.
And that way you have a little portable thing that can get all these little ribs in here. I can get where all the holes are, figure out exactly where I need to make my part for something that was $300.
And the nice thing is they can connect to your phone.
Yes.
You want to then put it to a computer because the computer has the processing power that your phone very clearly doesn't, but that's okay. But the thing we're actually really here to talk about is this bad mamma jamma right here, the Miraco. This is the newest scanner from RevoPoint, and I saw it and I said, if RevoPoint can do this right, this could give Artec a run for the money with their Leo. So the Artec Leo is a fully integrated scanner. It's very similar to my Eva, which you guys actually saw in the live stream where we compared the RevoPoint range to the Eva, and it actually held its own, way better than we expected. This thing though, fully integrated Android tablet, lets you scan, and from my understanding, it is basically a range and a mini put together.
Yes and no. So effectively, it's similar to the range, yes, but it's more like a Pop 3 Plus, if you will. It's not quite mini, because the actual resolution isn't as good as overall resolution isn't as good as the mini. The single frame point cloud and the total point cloud is similar, but as far as like the effective procedure, you're not going to scan a quarter like you would for a mini.
Right.
But you're still going to get great resolution, and like I said, the nice thing is you can get range.
It's very comfy. Feels good in the hand.
It feels good in hand, and that has, because you have near mode and far mode, you also have body mode and large object mode.
Yep.
So I was able to capture this table earlier, basically just walking down it, and when I turn on far mode and large capture mode, I'm basically picking up the whole magic mat and basically all the way up to here.
Very nice.
In one frame, which is a huge bonus. Like, I was able to scan a car yesterday in a couple minutes, the engine bay and front bumper. I was able to scan a couch in sub 30 seconds.
That's really great, because like one of the downsides of a lot of these scanners is if you want the horsepower, you need a connected laptop. And so they said, screw it, we're just gonna put the device in here. Now, it is an Android tablet. It's available with 16 or 32 gigs of RAM. It is currently on Kickstarter. That's all I have to say about that. So while it should be called a pre-order, it's not. So for Kickstarter, don't give any money you're not willing to lose. Although by the time you watch this, it may not be on Kickstarter. I don't know. But these scanners are gonna be looking at about the $1,500 price point, and currently about 40% off on Kickstarter, give or take.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's the stipulation to Kickstarter.
Right.
Fortunately, RevoPoint has pulled through on all of them, but as you said, you know,
it is
it's a gamble.
technically not guaranteed.
Yeah. I've backed 4 of their scanners.
This one's not really pocketable, which is a shame, because if it was, I might be able to beat you in a foot race.
I don't know. I used to run track.
Then I definitely can't beat you in a foot race. Crap. This scanner is actually really cool, and I'm hoping to look at it on the channel. So if you guys want to see the Miraco on the channel, comment below so I can send this to RevoPoint and tell them to send me one, because You know, they should send us one. I'm actually really impressed. 15 frames a second for a scanner of this price point is actually pretty good. And if the software is any good, this thing has, well, really no reason to be this cheap, but I'm not going to tell them that.
No, me either.
I'm excited to see it because it means it brings more power to the users. But as we've said before, and I'll say again, RevoPoint does really way too good on the hardware. Their hardware is amazing. The software sometimes can be a little challenging, and that's what I'm curious to see how the Miraco does with the actual software side of things. Yeah. So guys, stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get one on the channel. Kyle, thanks for showing this stuff to us. I'm excited. I wish I had room in my backpack for this. Anyways, guys, continued coverage coming up, and we'll see you in the next one. It's Spot! I got you, Spot. I got you, buddy. There you go.
Thank you.
He's got it. He's got it. We are over at the Deltamaker booth. I got my buddy Bob here who's talking all about this awesome machine here. For reference, it's on the floor and it comes up just to my waist. Let's talk about this machine because it's not just tall, it's got some other tricks up its sleeve.
Yeah, sure thing, Grant. Be glad to. Yeah, hi, I am Bob from Deltamaker 3D Printers. We are an Orlando-based 3D printer manufacturer, and we manufacture these right here in the USA. This is the Deltamaker Pro, which is our latest version of the Deltamaker. It's larger than our previous machines, and it does have a few unique tricks that I'd love to show you.
The big one is that it folds.
Yes, right. So the big challenge with large 3D printers
they take up a lot of freaking floor space, man.
Yeah, and what do you do when you're not using it? You know,
you put stuff on it because it becomes a flat surface.
Exactly. So we wanted a machine that could be easily folded and stowed when you're not using it. Fold it, hang it on the wall, fold it, show it under the bed. That type of a configuration.
And you got some nice milled connectors here. That allows you to do that folding mechanism.
Yes, it's certainly much smaller than the unfolded machine.
Right.
So
yeah, that's the nice thing.
It folds to about 8 inches thick, so we'll slide underneath the bed if you need to store it there.
Because that's kind of the thing with Delta printers, that they make really tall things. They can also make really wide things, but they're most known for making very tall things because extending a Delta higher is not that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal.
Making a Delta larger in the X and Y, way harder to do. Right, because the end effector and everything changes. You guys have solved the problem of I want a printer that's got some decent XY build size to it, but I also don't want to get a divorce.
Exactly. You can't leave this on the dining room table all year long, right? That just won't work well in most households.
No, probably not even mine. No.
Yeah. Like you pointed out with Deltas, when you make them wide, it does require a different set of engineering criteria.
Yeah.
Things have to be rigid. So this is all aircraft grade aluminum.
It's all 2040. It looks like.
We actually extrude some of these ourselves out of a 6061 aluminum.
Okay.
So it's a little bit stronger than what you would typically see in a computer frame or a printer frame rather. When you have a big machine, you gotta fold it. That really was our realization last year when we had all these wonderful machines in our lab. They were taking up a lot of floor space. Some of the bigger ones we made, we couldn't even fit them out the door, right? So we said, hey, let's come up with a solution.
Problem when your printer doesn't fit out of the door anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at building a printer so big that it has to go in and out of my garage. Nope.
The other key features is we have the interchangeable tool head mechanism. So this is compatible with our tool changer.
Okay.
So a lot of 3D printers these days talk about interchangeable tools. So
Right.
we definitely offer that feature as well. Another thing is worth mentioning is we use energy efficient build plates. That's an innovation that's very important for large format 3D printers because you don't want to use a lot of extra electricity heating a bed. So we actually have a way of 3D printing directly to a non-heated surface, and we do that through special materials, special textures, and we're able to print, PETG and TPU, all of the popular materials.
But not ABS, obviously.
Not ABS.
Or nylon.
ABS and nylon require not
They
only
hate
a heated
heated
bed,
beds even.
They need a heated chamber.
Yeah.
And also for energy efficient reasons, we are big fans of open air, ambient temperature 3D printing.
Right,
So
right.
if you do the right designs, you can come up with a machine that will print big and not use a lot of electricity.
What type of build volume are we looking at for this machine?
Yeah, so the build volume is about 18 and a half inches in diameter.
Okay.
And it ranges from 12 inches tall on this frame, or to the taller version is 32 inches tall.
And that's a thing to note with Deltas is that while they are very tall, because of the end effector system that you have, its Z height is limited quite a bit.
Right.
Especially when you do the larger Deltas.
The machine has to be taller
Yep.
than it can print. And,
Yeah.
and as you'll notice here, the length of these arms actually has to be subtracted from the height of the machine.
Right.
Length
The
of
length of the arms has to be subtracted, and
from the
that's
height
the
of the
only
machine.
way that you can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that limits your build height. So if you want to print something 32 inches tall, the machine needs to be an extra
Yeah, it's
15,
probably
15 inches. Whatever the length of the arms are, that has to be added to the height of the machine.
So what type of pricing are we looking at for these machines?
So currently we're doing build to orders, and we do a lot of custom engineering. So right now it's a $5,000 machine.
Okay.
But we are looking at doing a larger production run.
All right.
Everyone has been telling us we should do a Kickstarter type campaign to do a large pre-sale, and then we'll be able to get this down in the $2,500, $2,600 range.
That's not a bad move, especially if you're able to drop the price that much because at $5,000, it's a little tough. And I don't think anyone's going to deny that.
No.
But at 2,500, that becomes a lot
Right,
more valuable.
yeah.
And that 18.5-inch diameter, that's our 500 millimeter. Yeah, that's like
It's just under 500, yeah.
It's just under 500.
470 millimeter.
Look, I don't
for
know the
you.
metric system. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 470. And interesting story there. The reason we chose that design instead of 500 is we designed the machine to be able to print R2D2, right? So the R2D2 dome is just under 470 millimeters in
You can
diameter.
actually see it on the build plate there.
Exactly. So we chose that size to specifically support printing R2D2 components.
Well, you guys have some awesome pieces here, of course, the really big parts as well. I can't imagine how difficult that is to transport them. You're just like, all right, come on, Orlando traffic, don't do this to me today.
Right.
But they're really awesome pieces. Thank you guys for coming
Thank you
out.
so much. And yeah, transporting the prints has always been a challenge, but at least now transporting the printer is a little bit easier.
Yeah, you fold it up and put it in the vehicle. We missed you guys at 3D Printopia, but I did see the thing there. I said, I gotta see it, I gotta film it. Thankfully, we caught you here at Maker Faire
Thanks so much,
Orlando.
Grant. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you. We're going to keep heading on, guys, to the next booth. Check out Deltamaker. Links in that description down below. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see one on the channel relatively soon. We love Deltas here. They're a little tougher to deal with, but boy, howdy. They're one of the most pretty printers to watch.
Oh, thanks.
Core XY is cool. Deltas are way cooler. And remember, pick and place, they're normally Delta style. That's how fast these kind of machines can run when you really turn up the speed. But Bob, thank you again.
Thank you,
Appreciate it. On to the next one, guys. Stay tuned.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Don't miss a spot.
You're making me nervous.
Don't miss a spot, Jazz. Don't miss a spot. That's one way to do a printing press. All right, a lot of you don't know this about me, but I love Tesla coils. We used to have a big coil at the house. And I only have a little 4-foot one, but it's an analog coil. And it definitely doesn't run on microwave oven transformers. One of them is used as a shunt, so it's reasonably safe.
I got you.
Ish. Don't touch it. Don't touch any of these. But we have a bunch of Tesla coils. I love Tesla coils. And you guys are just a group of guys that just like building cool stuff.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what's going on here.
So we got a bunch of different type of coils here. Me and Brian have gotten, collaborated together to become the high voltage guys that we're doing here. And we have DRs, we have QCW coils, we got CVS, wireless transmission,
And what does like QCW and CDR mean?
ZVS,
sorry.
Yeah, ZVS, 0 volt switching is what it stands for. A DR, SSTC stands for dual resonance solid state Tesla coils, yes.
That's an
SSTC, yes.
Single resonance
Yeah,
solid
it's a
state.
continuous wave coil. And then we have the QCW coil, which is like a quasi-continuous waveform, and which throws like swords and type stuff like that. And
Sword arcs are awesome.
Yes, it's just something that we love and we want to share with other people.
Well, can we show off what's going on here? Now, I will put out, I've got my POV camera running. Miss Amber is running the camera, but high voltage does tend to mess with audio and video. We won't know if we have any footage of this until after we do it. So, with that being said, let's see what we can do here.
You want to see one run? You want to hear some music or what?
Yeah, let's hear some music. It's going to be a DRSSTC. Are you running install fiber? No, this is BNC.
No, it's fiber.
Oh, it's fiber.
Yeah.
Because anything else is going to have issues. You got a really nice little controller. God bless. That's right, they're also very loud. Now they can only do about 8 or 9 pitches at a time.
It's about 4.
4? Okay.
To make them right.
Everyone knows this one. This one's always a fun one to do with the DRSSTCs because they love it. We can only put so much of this on before I have to mute it for copyright reasons.
Yeah.
That's really loud. Like, to give you guys an idea, that is at least 100 dB loud.
Oh, probably
And
louder.
you can smell the ozone in the air because we're ionizing the air. For reference, every inch in free air is about 10,000 volts to my understanding. I know that will change with humidity and all of that,
Yes.
but we're putting out arcs about yay big. Now, for the gentlemen, that's at least 3 feet. For the ladies, that's closer to 12 inches. But, it means we're rocking about 120,000 volts out of this little tiny thing.
Yes,
Tesla coils are awesome.
they are.
But my favorites are sword arcs. Can we show the QCW?
Yeah, it's going to take a second just to get it up.
That's okay. You want me to hold this for
Yeah.
you? So QCW stands for quasi-constant wave. And they will throw out, you saw how these arcs over here were kind of fanny, right? There was a lot going to it. These, nothing like it. We've got an inductive load over there that basically keeps, I'm fairly certain it's an inrush. It's an inrush stopper, right? The light bulb stopped the inrush current. Yeah. I'm remembering the good old days when I was looking to build one of these. These are supposed to be reasonably safe to touch, but I'm still not going to do it because I don't want to hurt myself. But sword arcs, as you will see, are very straight. They don't fan out a lot. Boy, that's a lot of power. Yeah, here, I'll give you this back to you.
All right.
Assuming we're still recording.
Yeah.
Man, that's super cool.
And you can touch it.
I'll let you touch it. Woo! That looks like that hurts a little bit.
No, not really. It's,
No,
it's a little bit of heat.
I can see it turning red at your hand.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a plasma burn, but
Yeah. Woo.
yeah.
So you're just capacitor dumping, right?
Yeah, well, it's PWM, and it's a bridge shift. This is actually a newer type technology, and this is the most powerful Tesla coil in the world. Pancake QCW.
How many watts is this?
It's not very many. Watts are hard to determine on a Tesla coil because it depends how much you're running.
Right.
Like it's not pulling very much. I mean, it's running right now about 300 volts, and it's probably pulling about 250 amps on the primary, but it's only for a split second.
Yeah,
So
these are just super cool. I love sword arcs. They're some of the prettiest out there. You guys also brought some big DRSSTCs that'll do some little battling, right?
oh yeah, they'll play. They're musical and they're way loud.
Yeah, DRSSTCs are my favorite. Thank you for showing this off. Sword arcs are just something different, man. You're charging a battery.
No, that's an interrupter.
Well, so
It's an
what's the Viking
Adreno.
thing on top of it then?
That's a battery. That's a battery to power the interrupter.
Oh,
It's
okay.
an Adreno that's giving it the PWM signal through
Okay,
the
so
fiber
little
optic.
triple nickel in there or something?
What's
Little
that?
555 timer?
Well, no, just the little Adrenos, you know, the programmable little.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Okay.
all that's in there. Yep. And then it just runs in there, and then you got capacitor.
Yeah, the big tank
driver.
capacitor.
Yep.
15,000 microfarads at 450 volts. Yeah, that's a spicy girl. That's a
Yeah.
spicy girl.
My really big coil, which is it's got over 6,000 feet.
Yeah,
of
that's
wire on it.
how far are you shooting with that one?
20 foot.
20 foot?
It'll do 20 foot. Yep.
Yeah. So the thing with the Tesla coil is that this is a transformer. For those that don't know, no,
An
it's
air
not.
core. Yep.
Not Michael Babe. So these are air core transformers. You have your primary here and your secondary there. Normally in a regular transformer, there's some iron in between it, which would be called an iron core transformer. For a Tesla coil, it is an air core. Now, the thing with Tesla coils is that they were originally invented for wireless transmission of electricity, and they actually do that quite well. The energy that you see coming out, the lightning, if you will, coming out of it, that is waste energy. The best way to think about a Tesla coil is if you're dumping water into a bucket. If you dump it fast enough, the water splashes out. What you see coming out of it is the water splashing out of the bucket. So these coils are actually producing a lot more power than what you actually see. And in fact, if you have something like a bucket of compact fluorescent bulbs, you can actually run them wirelessly without touching anything.
That's
So
right.
we can do it on this one, or we can do it on the solid state coil if you want. Come on, there you go. Right at the end, I could start to feel the tingle.
Oh, okay.
Because eventually it will overpower the fact that I'm not grounded, and it will jump. Every now and then it starts to hurt, but
Yeah.
I've been hit by the analog coil. The digital ones are not that bad compared to the analog.
Yeah.
But seriously, thank you guys so much. We're gonna get some shots of this table. These machines are really cool. I love Tesla coils, and I wanted to build
too.
another big one. We had a big one for years, but we don't have one anymore. Now we just run analog coils. But these are awesome. Thank you guys so much for bringing these out.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Guys, if you like Tesla coils and you want to see ones on the channel, let me know in those comments below, because I would like to show that, and then I can write off the build of a much bigger solid state coil, one like his size, because I've got some acreage and a dedicated 8-foot solid copper ground rod in my yard
There you
that I
go.
put there for Tesla coils. Anyways, guys, these guys are awesome. Check them out. Links in the description down below. Maker Faire Orlando. This is awesome. This is so cool. And there you guys have it, Maker Faire Orlando. While we were only out here for one day, we saw some amazing things, from crazy high-powered Tesla coils to battle bots that do insane things to each other. I don't want to fight them at all. Awesome cosplayers and more. I hope you all enjoyed this video. It has been an amazing event. Thank you to Maker for putting on an amazing event. Thank you to Polymaker for sponsoring those awesome little make robots that we made for the claw machine for kids to get. Guys, thank you all for watching this video. There is tons of awesome content coming out, and a lot of behind the scenes content where you saw the camera on my shoulder. All of that will be available on our Patreon, YouTube channel members, or PayPal. So if you want to get that, links to those are in the description down below. Let us know in the comments what you thought was the coolest thing that we looked at, and hey, go back through that B-roll. There's a lot of cool things that we didn't get to interview, but we still got some cool footage of. But anyways, a massive thank you goes out to all of our supporters whose names are listed right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. If you want to get involved and help us make the videos that we do, you can click those links in that description down below, but don't forget to leave a like and get subscribed. Stay safe out there, don't forget to call your loved ones, and as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. We are over at the Deltamaker booth. I screwed that, said Deltamaker. Jeez man, amateur hour over here.
Deltamaker.
Yeah.
Can you feel the love tonight?
I am really having a problem today.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that button, like, and subscribe. You guys make these type of
No,
videos
no, no,
possible.
no, 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 come on, I gotta do it right,